There is a moment, and I think many of us know exactly when that moment is, when you look at your bank account on a Friday night and see that the number hasn't changed much compared to the previous month. It's not because you didn't work, you did work. It's not because you bought something crazy, you didn't. It's just the money went somewhere, and that feeling of quiet helplessness appears once again. If you are in your 40s, 50s, or heading towards 60, and this feeling is familiar, then I need to tell you something straight. This is not your fault in the way that you think. It's not because you are lazy. It's not because you aren't smart enough. It's because you are operating under financial habits that most people around you are also doing. Habits that are considered normal, that look reasonable on the surface, but are silently preventing you from moving forward. Today, we are going through 11 such habits. Some will make you recognize yourself, some might sting, and that feeling is good because recognizing the problem is the first step toward changing it. Hey, I'm Alice from Money Blueprint, where we talk for real about money with no fancy theories. Let's get started. But before we dive into the first habit, I want to ask you a serious question. How old are you while reading this, and which financial habit do you know you have but haven't been able to change yet? Drop a comment below. No judgment, no one is checking your profile. I'm asking because your answers often show me what the next video needs to be about, and that helps this entire community. Habit 1. Paying yourself last instead of first. Most people handle their paycheck in a certain sequence. Money comes into the account, rent goes out, utilities go out, car payment goes out, insurance premium goes out, credit card minimum payment goes out, then food, coffee, hanging out with friends, the necessities of life. And at the end of the month, the remainder finally goes into savings. Only thing is, there is never a remainder. This is the trap I call paying yourself last. You pay everyone else first, the landlord, the electric company, the bank, the restaurant, and only then do you think about your own future. And because every month there is something unforeseen, every month is a logical reason not to save, every month is especially different, the result is that every month there is nothing left over. The wealthy do the opposite. As soon as the salary hits, a certain percentage is transferred directly into a savings or investment account automatically before they even see it, before the lifestyle has a chance to think of ways to spend it. No willpower required, no reminders needed. The system runs itself. If you are 45 and haven't set up this auto transfer yet, this is the time to do it. Even if it's just 5 or 10%, it doesn't need to be perfect from the start. What matters is starting. Habit 2. Spending money to save. You buy a pair of shoes because they're 40% off. You buy 3 items because it's buy 2, get 1 free. You click on Prime Day for things that weren't even in your head until the notification popped up. This is one of the most sophisticated psychological traps that marketing has built over decades, and it is especially effective on people who have worked long enough to feel they deserve a good deal. The logic sounds completely reasonable. If something normally costs $100 and is now $60, you saved $40, right? No, you spent $60. That $40 never existed. It is a number on a screen designed to make you feel like you won a game, while in reality, you're losing money on something you didn't plan to buy in the first place. In 2026, with Amazon Prime, AI-integrated shopping apps suggesting deals, and email marketing personalized to a terrifying degree, this trap is more sophisticated than ever. They know your purchase history, they know your birthday, they know how you are feeling. The best deal is the one you don't buy. The only money that counts is the money you keep. Habit 3. Not tracking where the money actually goes. Ask most people aged 40 to 60 how much they spend on food each month, they will guess. Ask about subscriptions, they will hesitate. Ask about the big picture of their spending, they will change the subject. This is like flying without a map, and when you don't measure it, you can't control it. In 2026, the average American has 4.5 subscriptions they've forgotten about. According to West Monroe Partners, consumers underestimate their subscription spending by an average of $133 per month. That is $1,596 per year leaking out of your account for things you don't even think about. The discomfort of tracking is real. Looking at the statement and seeing $200 in Uber Eats, $90 in nearly unused subscriptions, $150 in coffee, it's not comfortable. But that discomfort is exactly the point. Most people avoid tracking because they don't want to know. And if you don't know, you can't change. Track everything for 1 month. You don't need complex software, a piece of paper works too. The picture that emerges will be uncomfortable, and it will show you exactly where the money went. Habit 4. Lifestyle creep, the trap of deserving it. You get a raise. Finally. You deserve to enjoy it. So, a better apartment, a nicer car, better restaurants, longer vacations, an updated wardrobe. 6 months later, you realize something is wrong. You are making more than ever, and the feeling of being tight on money is almost exactly the same as before. This is lifestyle creep. Spending automatically increases along with income. Things that were luxury items become the baseline. Expensive restaurants become normal. And once the lifestyle has inflated, deflating it feels like failure, so you don't do it. You keep running faster just to stay in the same place. The reality for people in their 40s and 50s, every raise is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to improve your financial trajectory. Once the lifestyle has swallowed that opportunity, you don't get back those lost years of compound growth. At least half of every raise should go into investments or savings before the lifestyle even knows it exists. Habit 5. Using credit cards as a crutch, not a tool. Credit cards are not the enemy. Used correctly, they can give you reward points, purchase protection, and build your credit score. They're good tools, but there's a thin line between using a credit card and depending on it. And when you cross that line, interest rates of 22 to 24% start working against you with the same power that compound interest could be working for you. Look at the actual numbers for 2026. If you have $8,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest and only pay the minimum each month, it will take you more than 9 years to pay it off, and you will pay a total of nearly $16,000, almost double what you borrowed. And in those 9 years, if that $8,000 had been invested in an index fund instead of paying interest, it could have grown to over $17,000. The money you are losing today isn't the biggest problem. It's what that money could have become if it went the other way. Habit 6. Saying yes to everything out of fear of missing out. This is the habit people aged 40 to 60 are talked about the least, but I think it is more common than you think. You attend a wedding that you can't actually afford to attend. You pay for a group trip that you don't actually want to go on, but don't want to be left out of. You buy a gift more expensive than your budget because you don't want to look petty. You spend money on social experiences because invisible social pressure says this is what a successful person at this age must do. FOMO isn't just a thing for young people on TikTok. It affects the 50-year-old when the whole friend group books a vacation to Europe. It affects you when friends' children go to private school and you feel pressure to do the same. It affects you when everyone around is talking about renovating their house and you don't want to look like you're falling behind. Saying no is a financial skill, and in 2026, with social media constantly showing you what others are doing, the experiences they are living, and the money they are spending, that skill is harder than ever, but also more important than ever. Habit 7. Not having an emergency fund that is large enough or having one at all. This is a habit many people at this age know they need to fix, but still haven't, because life always finds a reason to use that fund for something else. Guidelines say 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in a liquid account. For people in their 40s to 60s with more complex financial responsibilities, a mortgage, perhaps supporting children or parents, rising health costs, 6 months is the practical minimum. According to the Federal Reserve in 2024, 37% of Americans could not cover a $400 emergency expense without using a credit card or borrowing. $400, one tire replacement, one trip to the ER. That is not a safe position to be in when you are 50 and building your retirement. An emergency fund is not an investment. It doesn't need to grow. It needs to be there, in a high-yield savings account paying 4 to 5% APY as can be found now in 2026, ready for when life does what life always does. Habit 8. Ignoring small expenses because you think they are insignificant. A $5 coffee, an $8 snack, a $4.99 app subscription from last year you forgot to cancel. a charity roundup at checkout because saying no feels awkward, a $3 convenience fee because you don't want to drive an extra 10 minutes. Each amount is small enough to ignore, but they add up. $5 a day is $1,800 a year. $30 in forgotten subscriptions is $360 a year. That doesn't even count the compound growth if that money were invested instead of spent. I'm not saying never drink coffee or never give a tip. I'm saying know what you are spending. Make it a conscious choice rather than an invisible leak. There is a huge difference between deciding to spend $1,800 a year on coffee because you love it and find it worth it, and letting $1,800 leak out without knowing when it happened. Habit 9. Treating investing as something to do later. You'll invest when you know more, when you have more money, when the market is more stable, when you're done paying off debt, when you feel more ready. Meanwhile, time passes, and time is the only thing in investing that cannot be bought back. For someone aged 45 to 55, this is the most important moment. To be direct, you still have time. Not as much as a 25-year-old, but the 10 to 20 years left before retirement is enough for compound interest to do a portion of its work, if you start right now. $200 a month starting at age 45 with an average market return of 8% becomes about $118,000 by age 65. It's not a fortune, but it is $118,000 that can change the quality of your retirement compared to having nothing. Contribution limits for 2026, $24,500 for a 401k with an additional $8,000 catch-up if you are 50 or older. Roth IRA, $7,000 plus a $1,000 catch-up. These are tax-advantaged tools designed for exactly your situation. Start. Even if it's small, the habit is more important than the initial amount. Habit 11. Not investing in financial literacy. You will spend $50 on a dinner without a second thought, $200 on shoes, $500 on a weekend trip, but spending time or money to actually learn how money works, that feels optional, something that can be left for later. This is the most expensive habit on this list, not because of the direct cost, but because of the indirect cost of ignorance compounded over time. Every other habit on this list has its roots here. You pay yourself last because no one showed you how to do the opposite. You fall into lifestyle creep because you don't understand what compound growth is lost when it's interrupted. You wait to invest because no one explained it simply enough to start. The patterns that keep people broke are not random. They are predictable. They follow the same logic, and they continue until knowledge actually intervenes. This is what I want to close this post with. If you are in your 40s, 50s, or about to enter your 60s, you are not starting from an ideal position, but you are starting. And in personal finance, starting at any time is better than never starting because time still remains and compound interest still works even when you are 55. Not all 11 habits will apply to you, but if even 2 or 3 of them made you stop and think, that is me, then that is the starting point. Recognizing it is the first step. Acting this very week is the second step. Pick one, just one. Automate savings. Cancel one forgotten subscription. Open a high-yield savings account. Calculate how much you are actually spending on food each month. One small action this week creates momentum for the next action. And one last thing. If this post gave you something truly useful today, I want to ask you for a small favor. Subscribe to Money Blueprint. Not because the numbers matter to me in the way people usually say, but because every subscriber is one more person choosing to look straight at their finances instead of looking away. And as this community grows larger, the next videos, deeper, more specific, more useful for the exact stage of life you are in, will continue to be made. We are building this together, and I truly want to continue. I will see you in the next video.